And now, the general weather around Alaska.
Starting out with today's satellite imagery, you can see here in the east, we've got some bands of clouds over the southeast coast. Otherwise, a pretty dry day today. This area of clouds down here bringing a little bit of light rain or scattered shower activity to the southern areas. And then back here to the north or over south central Alaska, you can see an area of clouds lifting northward here. And that ahead of an upper level troughs pushing northeastward here with a little bit chillier air behind it and bringing quite a widespread area of light snow across the Kenai Peninsula up into the Mananuska-Susitna Valley eastward there along the eastern North Gulf Coast. Drier conditions up to the north, some cloudiness here over the Chukchi Sea, bringing some light snow there to the western Arctic coast down in toward Kotzebue. Areas of light snow here over the southwest interior. And then a front having pushed eastward here, starting to break up as it comes eastward, but holding together enough to bring gusty winds and warmer temperatures here in the south and southeast winds ahead of the front here into the Pribilof Islands. Snow changing to rain today. That same pattern going on for the Alaska Peninsula. Then a lot of snow showers out to the west from about Adak and Atka westward to Shemya today. On the chart, this front, warm front, bringing winds gusting to 46 miles an hour at Cold Bay with moderate snow going on, but rain for the eastern Aleutians with temperatures pushing up toward 40 degrees. Mid to upper 30s now in the Pribilofs with snow changing to rain there and winds gusting anywhere from 30 to 40 miles an hour. And breezy conditions again with a lot of shower activity over the Aleutians. High pressure drying it out over the Kuskokwim Valley down into Bristol Bay today. And this trough, again, the areas of snow here over the southeast part of the state. Heavy snow this afternoon at Cordova. Otherwise, amounts on the light side here elsewhere. And again, this weak trough bringing a little bit of moisture into the southern panhandle. For tonight, we'll see trough continues there. And so a chance of some moisture there for the southern southeast coast. Maybe a little farther to the north, but not too bad. Staying dry for the northern panhandle, Juneau up to Lynn Canal, Skagway, westward to Yakutat. Areas of light snow here along this trough, Kenai Peninsula up into the eastern interior, but nothing too heavy at all. And tending to end as this front pushes eastward here. In fact, probably after midnight, it'll end over Cook Inlet and the Kenai Peninsula area, as well as the Mananuska-Susitna Valley, but kind of lingering for the North Gulf Coast. Areas of snow here over, well, a good portion of the western interior from the Brooks Range southward, especially over the Yukon-Kuskokwim Delta and into Bristol Bay there, with the lighter amounts around King Salmon on the lee side of the Aleutian Range here down toward Pilot Point. And those areas, lighter winds and more showery on the precipitation here behind the front, mostly in the form of rain at sea level. Mixture of rain and snow showers for the eastern Aleutians up to the Pribilofs. Another low center out here keeps a lot of shower activity going over the western and central Aleutian areas. Look for a little bit of an increase in the wind and snow up there for St. Lawrence Island and areas of snow again with that trough, as I mentioned, into the Seward Peninsula. And for Tuesday, still the southwest part of the state, or actually the southern part of the state, has a pretty good chance of snow here in the blue shaded area, increasing as you get down toward the Kenai Peninsula, especially the North Gulf Coast with this front swinging up, southeast wind flow. So the heaviest precipitation again, Cordova into western Prince William Sound and the east side of the Kenai Peninsula. Lighter amounts up in the Copper River Basin and Mananuska-Susitna Valley, but increasing snow once again for the Kenai Peninsula area and Cook Inlet in the afternoon. And the trough keeps a few showers around the panhandle. But the next day, this front will push eastward as the low center kind of drops off to the southeast. That'll bring an increase in the wind and precipitation here for all of the southeast coast, especially along the coastline there with less of an increase over the inside waters toward the border. And still a chance of snow across much of southern Alaska, northward through the western interior, up to the Brooks Range. North of the Brooks Range, North Slope and Arctic Coast, staying pretty mild with light wind conditions and uneventful weather pattern. Light winds, variable clouds, and not particularly cold. Same thing for the northeast interior areas. And areas of snow and snow showers here cover just about all of the Bering Sea. Down to the Aleutians, low center here, that'll pick those winds up. West-northwest winds here for the Fox Islands could gust up to 40 miles an hour there with probably some periods of snow, a little colder temperatures there for the Pribilof Islands. Lows tonight below zero north of the Alaska Range, anywhere from 5 to 20 below, and warming into the teens down toward the southwest coast. Either side of zero for the Seward Peninsula, upper 20s for the Pribilof Islands, mid-30s eastern Aleutians, and lower 30s out to Shemya. Lows tonight falling down to around 10 degrees in the Susitna Valley, otherwise teens to lower 20s for the Kenai Peninsula, mid-20s Kodiak Island, and again down to 5 to 10 degrees above zero and below zero, McGrath and Nikolai, and then milder over the southeast coast. But with clearing skies, drier conditions, and look for lows in the mid-20s over the northern areas, mid to upper 30s down to the south. Highs tomorrow near 40 over the southern panhandle, otherwise staying in the 20s here from Juneau northward, near freezing for Yakutat, right around 10 degrees for Gulkana, staying below zero north of the Alaska Range over the eastern half of the state there to the Arctic coast, near zero for the western Arctic coast, upper 20s to lower 30s for Bristol Bay. Again, those increasing southeast winds pushing it up to about 32 degrees for King Salmon, upper 30s and near 40 eastern Aleutians and Alaska Peninsula, and upper teens for St. Lawrence Island. Lows on Wednesday morning, again below zero north of the Alaska Range, about the same, anywhere from 10 to 20 below, 5 to 10 below for the Kobuk Valley out toward Kotzebue and Shishmaref, 2 degrees for Nome, and a little chillier for the Arctic coast now, 10 to 20 below up there, but not terribly cold for this time of year. Teens and 20s, south central Alaska, and lower to mid-20s, northern panhandle to upper 30s to the south. And for the afternoon highs, not too bad here, lower to mid-40s for the central and southern southeast coast, and right around 10 for the Copper River Basin, mid-20s, south central Alaska, and near or a little below zero for the areas north of the Alaska Range, and 5 to 10 below for the North Slope. Lower 30s for the Pribilof Islands, and mostly in the mid to upper 20s for Bristol Bay, upper 30s Alaska Peninsula, and the Aleutians.